I need to ask you a question.
Be curious, drifters.
Amelia's duel hits the front.
Emma is coming right away for Damien Oliver.
Bella Nipotina, and boy, doesn't she deserve this.
The Giga Kick's got a strong kick.
Golden Mile, soar out the mile. I'm thunderstruck over the top. Mr Brightside has won the mile.
And Militarize blows them away in the Champagne Stakes. And she's a class act, pulling right away Prowess. And Kozsciuszko won it by 2.5.
Zaki, joined by Anamoe, who looks destiny in the face.
Shall I just get us in the mood straight away?
Yeah, get into it, son.
Smashes, ducking and weaving. Chautauqua 6 off them, but Red Zell's burst clear at the 100 metres. Vega Magic Brace smash
Look at
running
him.
on, then Chulo, but Red Zell, he's home in the Everest. Red Zell leads all the way. Vega Magic.
Tell you who was a run there, Chautauqua.
Yeah, of
My
course.
God.
Of course he was, mate. By the way, if you watch it on YouTube, drifters know we're not going to a funeral. we may be dressed like it, but
Yeah.
you know what? This is our these are our formal hats
Yes.
because it's a big weekend of racing.
And last time we wore these drifters, we couldn't miss in the Brisbane Winter Carnival. So,
Bang.
and on arguably what is now the best race day of the year, arguably,
Yeah.
because Derby Day, they've bloody taken the Champions Mile out there. Bang.
Hey, that was my take earlier this week. Texting you boys, I said, look, arguably it's the best day of the year.
I understand that. Best sprinting race of the year, although the attrition's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the
has
water
been.
show? Underwhelming.
I've only seen a small amount of the footage, and look, it's a $20 million race. You've got to be better than that. Bring back the drones.
Drones were sick.
Drones were sick. Underwhelming. I thought.
Yeah, it was not PVL's finest. I think he'd like to have that moment again.
Yeah, someone's getting sacked.
So we had the first Everest winner in Redzell, and we nearly fell over when this result happened.
Yeah, I was there.
Given the cue by McDonald, and the champ races to the lead by a length on Eduardo. Private Eyes running on, then came over past Shades of Rose, Giacono, and Giga Kick. Nature Strip a length in front. Private Eye, Giga Kick down the outside, wins the Everest. The unbeaten 3-year-old's done it. Giga Kick.
How did Darren Flindell find that extra pitch in his voice?
I don't know how. I think Darren had to find the words. He's like, what just happened?
Yeah,
He was in disbelief.
he was. Well, he says private eye. Before he can basically say private eye storming home, he looks at Giga Kick. He's like, holy shit, this thing's going to win.
I've actually, in my numbers, given away the lead, but I think there might be a similar result this week. But
Potentially.
loyal listener Jimmy, he's been with us for a few years. We met him at the QA.
Yes.
He texts me. He's good at this. Texts immediately after some races, especially when he finds one at juicy odds. So he's done it twice that I can remember. Right.
Yeah.
Once was Giga Kick in the Everest. I'm like, that is a sensational punt by
That's
you.
a sensational punt.
The second one was when I was on the floor after Zaki lost the Queen Elizabeth and thinking over one. I was like, oh, mate, I don't need this right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, was at the track both times.
Shit.
Yeah.
God damn.
So I've seen Giga Kick storm on the outside. I was 100 metres away from the finishing post. So that's when Nature Strip started hitting the front. And obviously when you're part of the plebs, when you're in a can of tuna with everyone else, exactly right, you're going hard. But you don't know how fast they've gone early in the race.
No.
I had no idea. I was like, is the champ just going to sit and then sprint and beat him?
I haven't been to Randwick, but how's the screen situation? Are we
Phenomenal.
Are we talking an Eagle Farm situation?
Not as good, but phenomenal.
It's not Doomben, is it?
Better than Doomben, mate.
Mate, I reckon the TV we just got is probably bigger than what's available at Doomben.
I think so. Doomben, atrocious. Not for your viewing pleasure, drifters. And yeah, Zaki. I was on Zaki as well that day. Jeez, I was phenomenal for a second pick. And yeah, when Nash brought him outside, you didn't really fully realise what was going on. It was insane.
But if you want to listen to like all that despair, that only happened last year. So you can go through the archives and find it if you really want, but I wouldn't bother. The Everest.
Yeah.
Let's get straight into it, eh?
We're at base camp right now, mate.
Yeah.
We need to climb it.
And it's a hell of a mountain to climb.
It
so
is.
let's go through the field. Runner for runner. We'll do a runner by runner preview. How's that sound?
Yeah. Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. Do you want the odds or the evens?
Give me the odds, please.
Go. I wish I win.
So kicking off with I wish I win. Wow, we
have a little treat.
Yeah, we do. Look, we're part of the Entain family. Let's say.
Of course we are.
And obviously Moods is also part of the Entain family. So just want to shout out to Ned's, shout out to the Entain broader family. Hell of a horse. Great horse.
The one to beat, you might say.
Yeah, you could say he's the one to beat. Yeah. Unusual preparation. Got to say that.
It's because he's a miler.
Yeah. First up in the Memsey, he was brilliant, let's be honest, and was beaten by Mr Brightside. The Memsey, form-wise,
oh my God.
terrific race.
Chef's kiss.
Terrific race. He comes here 6 weeks between runs, which was always the plan, Drifters, so I wouldn't be too alarmed. Peter Moody and now joined by Kat Coleman. He's a genius, so he wouldn't be doing this unless he had the horse absolutely cherry ripe. I have no doubt he'll be cherry ripe on the day. He came out during the week and said, look, I don't want an inside gate.
Now, some people are putting on their tinfoil hats and saying, oh, the only Victorian in the field got the barrier that they didn't want.
Yeah.
Come on.
Look, he drew gate 1 in the Memsey and he had an awfully good run there.
He did.
For mine, is gate 1 ideal for him? No, it's not ideal.
Overplayed though.
But I think it's overplayed. I'd rather be in gate 1 than gate 12 personally.
Yeah, because I don't think tactics are going to be as
no, it's going to go so fast.
and on paper, there's not much speed in this race. But what's that? A $20 purse that they're racing for. They're going to go hell for leather here.
Yeah, $20 purse times
20 million.
times that by a milli.
Shit.
Yeah, they'll go quick.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's in with a big chance.
Yeah, of course. Barry 1 overplayed for me. Private Eye. Now, apparently there was an issue with this horse throughout the winter, throughout the autumn, and we just didn't see the best of him. And second up last prep, he was absolutely smashed in the ribs at the top of the straight by a very slow horse, and he just never got into it in the TJ. But my God, that first up win was something else. He has one of the most explosive, hit button turns of foot, this horse. And
Give him a squeeze and he goes.
oof, and what's that on his back? Something so hot.
Oh, mate. Look, the Everest might be cold, but Nash is hotter than a volcano, mate. He is in such good form, mate. He's going at 25% at the moment, if not higher. Yeah. He's the form jockey in the race, and if anyone's going to get Private Eye into the right position and risk an enormous suspension,
Oh, baby.
it is hot Nash.
It is 1N raw willer. So Barry 9, not ideal, but 3 wide line. He's a miler, Private Eye. He can run it out very strongly.
Mate, he was 3 wide, no cover first up.
Exactly.
And still got the job done.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
He'll find a little bit of cover and he'll be coming into the race very nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. The
Think
stable,
about
mate.
it. The stable, mate. The same silks, proven thoroughbreds, having an absolute fill up.
Imagine if they run one too.
And they could.
My God.
They 100% could.
The market suggests they could.
Yeah, they definitely could. Look, think about it. He just... For mine, he's probably the most interesting runner in the race because he just keeps finding. He only just held off Hawaii 5-0 in the Premier Stakes, resuming after his winter prep. But Sam Clipperton said after the race, when he was challenged by Hawaii 5-0, I just gave him a little squeeze and he found again.
Yeah.
So, and this guy is going to be cherry ripe for this. Mate, I was thinking about this, looking through the form today during my break. There's a weird amount of horses that are racing this weekend across the park that have incredible winning strike rates. Amelia's Jewel, Antino, Stapati, think about it. And you've always got to be super wary of the effectively unbeaten horse. I think he's drawn the best out of anyone in this race.
All right.
Think about it for mine. Gate 5, sit off the speed. He's going to be incredibly hard to hold out because he just keeps finding a way.
I know. And I'm looking at the last 10 results.
Beware that, mate.
My God.
He just keeps going up and up and
I
up. I think he's probably, again, like a 1,400 metre horse. Think about it.
Yeah.
But that's going to suit him here because for mine, no matter how the race shapes up, I think it will be a fast run race. But if it's not, he's going to be in the perfect position to sit and sprint.
You know, it could be, and this is crystal ball stuff. This is what we're literally paid to do. But we've seen this horse in the mounting yard up here in Brisbane, right?
Nuts.
Absolute nutcase. And that's his thing. Now, a very strong, like 20 to 30,000 Eagle Farm, if it even holds that many, I doubt it does. But that is not the same gravy as what it will be at Randwick because they have the Sweet Caroline before the race. Will that rev him up a little bit too much? It is a factor.
I haven't even given that much thought. But yeah, there'll be 50 to 60,000 there, mate. So,
so it's something to consider. But he's obviously one of the key chances. Sammy Clippenden has jumped off Marzu. So Marzu is $51. You can kind of understand why it hasn't been his prep. What do you think of the latest trial after he was scratched on race day?
Solid enough.
Yeah.
But he's one of the few in here with an interrupted prep.
Yes.
You don't want to see that.
Hey, he has 6.9 in the bank.
But every time we underrate him, he ran third in this race last year. He ran third in the Dooma 10,000 behind Giga Kick and Overpass. He deserves his spot in the race.
Yeah, I think I need to see him win again, but whether we'll see him win again because he's at the top level, hard to say. Overpass.
Big winner from the barrier draws.
I thought he was the big winner.
Massive winner. And gee whiz, since his gelding, he's been such a good horse. Wins the Quokka beating home Amelia's Duel. Just gets caught by Giga Kick up here in the Sunshine State where each year all the best form comes out of, obviously. And then just gets nailed by Private Eye in the shorts. One thing you know with this horse is that I think he'll beat home more than what beat him home in the race. He'll be ridden forward. He'll be hugging the rails. He'll be there or thereabouts Overpass. At double figures, he's probably the one at double figures where you're definitely going to get a good run for your money.
And if they somehow lay off this speed, he's the clear speed horse in the race, and he's been kept fresh for this. Very similar to Private Eye. So if you like him, back him. Buenos Noches.
But Buenos Noches, the best named race horse in the race.
Yes, Matty Smith. This is his stable's pin-up horse after Fierce Impact. Obviously retired and is doing his best stuff in the breeding barn. But I think he's been really, really impressive this prep. Now, different gravy first up. So he smashed up on the likes of Argentia, who's a really good Group 3 mare. And Dragonstone is probably a listed just sort of great horse. But he was better. He was much better than the likes of In Secret last start. And he beat her home. And he was arguably unlucky not to win the race.
Yeah.
So I think he's definitely in with a winning chance.
He's a schmoky.
I'd prefer him with a bit more cut out of the ground because the forecast is looking pretty damn sunny. And I think, I think he's better with a bit of cut out.
Fair enough. Hawaii 5-0. First up, he ran a pretty good race in the shorts, I thought. It was a pass mark. Did I expect him to nearly run down Think About It in the Premier Stakes? Well, yeah, because I was pretty keen on him in that race at a nice price. He's another one who's a 1,400 metre horse for mine. So he's going to, stepping up to an Everest from another 1,200 metre race. He's gonna be fine. He's going to be storming home. I think he's drawn a little bit sticky for mine, Hawaii 5-0. I think he'll be further back than what you'd want to be.
Yeah.
Big tick with J-Mac jumping on board, though.
God, yeah. And third up last prep, he won by about the length of the straight in the Hawkesbury Guineas. So arguably his best run of the prep upcoming for him. One I am risking just with that sticky draw. Alcohol-free. the roughie in the field with Marzu. I just don't really like these Europeans that come over these distances. I think we're better. And she was a good run first up, though. She was good. She was very good.
She was good first up. Look, it wouldn't absolutely shock, but I'd be very surprised if she won.
You know what was the giveaway for this horse during the week? They paid up for a Cox Plate. Yeah. So it's like, okay, that's 800 metres away. So very strange that they'd do that, I guess, if, you know, she comes through flashing light, then you go to a mile, then a Cox Plate. It's just odd.
Do you know what else is telling, mate? So this is Yulong's slot. This is a Yulong-owned horse, and we didn't get confirmation until right at the end. So they were looking for other options.
Oh, mate, they were trying to get Imperatriz a life after racing deal, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
I think it's that simple. And full credit to Tiark out there. Back in there, obviously that horse goes so much better than Melbourne Leg. Anyway, everyone said that. This is one of the most fascinating runners of the day for me in secret.
Agreed. Zach Purton on Where We.
My God.
And I think she'll come across and be in the last third, but she's a 1,200 metre horse through and through. If I was thinking about this, actually, I'll get your thoughts on it.
Please tell me.
If this was run down the Flemington Straight,
yes,
would she be like a half the price, maybe?
Yeah, I'm astonished at the price for her.
Yeah, I thought she'd be a bit shorter. Like, I don't know. First up was flying home behind Remark. 1,100 metres in the shorts. I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah,
and now gets Zach Purton on.
Yeah.
Yes, like a mare hasn't won this race yet, but like she's the one for me.
Well, the thing is you have to remember the horse's profile. So her last two preps in the autumn, or this prep, right? She was on face value. People are going like, oh, she was a bit underwhelming second up, where she was, you know, a $2
because she was favourite,
$3 favourite. That's the thing, and she was beaten just over a length there. But the prep before that, in the Surround Stakes at 1,400, Sunshine in Paris, like clearly won that race, but it was still a very good run by her. Third up though, she goes to another level. So, and if I look at her and Buenos Noches, I'm like, all right, of those two, who do I prefer? Very similar pattern. You know, they're the same age, that sort of stuff. She's the one that I'd prefer. And because the big factor there for me as well is the good track. She loves it hard. Loves it.
Yeah, nailed it.
Espiona. Now, here's the X factor here, Drifters. Now, this is a significant rising grade.
Yeah.
She's only beaten the mares first up and second up, but my God, has she looked good doing it. If she chews her head off here and still wins, could you imagine that?
Yeah.
We said if she makes the field, we have to have $5 on her.
We have to have $5 on her. I thought we'd getting more than $14. Could be one Ned. So I was thinking I was over at 20s.
I know.
I'm not going to say shocked because I said it last year with a few things and I had egg on my face, but I'd be very, very surprised if Espiona wins.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I think she's going better than ever.
Yeah.
I really do. And like, what price would Sunshine in Paris be here? Probably around the same, to be fair. I think that price, surely she gets out. Surely. Huey back on board, big tick.
Huge tick.
I'm fascinated to hear what you think about Shinzo.
I think Shinzo will bounce back here. Yeah. For me, it's the 3-year-old profile on the Everest. He never got into the race in the Golden Rose. Like I watched that replay so many times for the form for this weekend, right? There's a couple of things that come out of the Golden Rose that are racing this weekend. He never trucked into the race. I think the wide gate, first up over 1,400 metres, like in hindsight, was I silly to back him? Yeah. Plus he pulls up lame. There's something else about this horse which I don't like in this race though. And that's the jockey booking, mate. Disgusting.
Hey, Kieran is different gravy in an Everest.
Kieran knows how to win an Everest.
He's won half of them.
He sure has. Shit. He's drawn well for mine, Shinzo. Karen just needs to get him into the race. He needs to get him into the race because from what I've seen from Karen recently is just let things unfold in front of him and not take enough initiative. But the 3-year-olds in the Everest, you have to respect them from what we've seen so far. And for mine personally, I'd rather take the double price that you're getting with Shinzo over the next horse, Cylinder. Like comfortably.
Yeah, okay. Cylinder has drawn sensationally. Zach Lloyd in the saddle. Blink his first time for this horse, which I thought was interesting. When I heard James Cummings talking about the two Godolphin runners, and he was more talking about this horse. So it makes me think that they're quite confident. Now, the drop back from Golden Rose into the Everest, I think of the likes of Jacquinot last year. They run pretty decently. I'm happy to risk the 3-year-olds this year. I think just the class of the older horses is just clearly there.
Yeah.
For me. So, and we'll give the emergencies a miss. Bella Nipotina, awfully unlucky. How would you spend $100 in this race?
Oh, man, I've been
chopping and changing,
tossing and turning and chopping and changing for the race. And this is the logic that I ended up with because whatever happens, if the horse that I picked doesn't win, I'm going to be disappointed in myself because like I've given most of these at least a couple seconds thought. My logic was before the spring, if you asked me who my Everest horse was going to be, Giga Kick.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And if he was still in the race, he still would be my pick, right?
Sure.
If you told me, hey, Giga Kick's not going to get a race, who's going to be your horse in the race? I would have said I wish I win.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to stick to that. So unusual prep, and from what I've seen of the other horses in like the likes of the shorts and the Premier Stakes, have shown me so much, which is making me nervous about sticking with him. But he's brilliant. He is brilliant. And I've said on this podcast about 1,000 times this spring, he's a grand final horse. And Moods is an absolute freak. And I also think that he's a clockwise horse.
Yeah, Sydney
I wish
horse.
I win. He's a Sydney horse. So he's my on top selection. I'm shit scared of the 2 proven thoroughbred horses, the 2 Joe Pride horses. Like, I'm going to even say Joe Pride. I'm going to pay him the respect he deserves. I'll put my hand up and say, pound for pound, he's a pretty fucking good trainer. I'm shit scared of both Private Eye and Think About It. Think About It's going to go in my betting strategy because what is under the hood, I don't think we've seen all of it yet.
Yeah.
I think he could just come out here and explode and just be like, I will do what I need to do to win this race. He's a winner, as we can see. And then Shinzo, I've got to have something on him. So I'm going to go $60 on I Wish I Win, $30 on Think About It to effectively make slightly more than my money back. He could drift as well on the day with the mounting yard antics, like you said.
Yep.
And then I just need a little tenner on Shinzo because he's 15s.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm playing it. Depending on how the market plays out for the rest of the week, that might change slightly, but that's how I'm playing the race.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, just give me 2 seconds.
Well, I'm joining her.
Let's go, drifters. Leslie, go.
Yeah, I'm joining her. I had to put him on top just because if I jumped off now, I'd be furious. But I Wish I Win on top. For all the reasons that you outlined, you kind of nothing more to add. I think you are getting a better price from Barry 1 too. And like I think there's going to be a run there, and he only has he does enough. Like you see in the Golden Eagle, he hits the front, then he wanders around, and then he hears Fangirl chase him down, and then he sticks his neck out there again. So I'm happy to back I Wish I Win. I'm getting a better price from Barry 1. So $40 on him, $40 on Private Eye. Too good to ignore that horse.
You can't ignore him.
And that's the thing. I'm leaving out some serious quality animals here.
Like we went through the entire thing and we made a case for all of them.
Basically 2 of them that I think can't win the race.
Yeah.
And that's Alcohol Free and Marzu for me.
Yeah.
And the market suggests that. So the market's nailed it.
Yeah.
$10 on In Secret. She's a stupid price.
She's a silly price.
So basically,
I can't believe I'm leaving her out of my betting strategy.
I know. And the way I'm kind of thinking about it is I want to make $100 profit on I Wish I Win in Private Eye based on the current prices, make about $50 from In Secret and $50 from Espiona as well. If everyone's jaw is on the floor, I want to be jumping around. So with Espiona, I'm a believer. So that's how I'm playing the race. Now, we've spent a long time on that race.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well,
it deserves the respect.
Rightfully so. Let's get to the King Charles. 1,600 metre, Group 1, weight for age, over the mile. Used to be the Theo Marks, was it?
No, the George Main.
George Main, thank you. Now, Mr Brightside is a $2.25 favourite, and we finally get to see Brightside versus Fangirl with a little bit of sprinkling of that Epsom form with... Well, who would be the last Epsom winner to start $46 their next start? That is so much disrespect.
Rodina, he keeps improving.
He's
drawing gate 1.
Ridiculous. Honestly.
You gotta have him in your strategy, mate, at that price. I am so glad that Mr. Brightside's coming up to Sydney to be like, hey, I'm the best in Victoria, but I'm also the best up here.
Yeah.
He wins this, mate.
Yeah.
I think if he's not the best miler in the world, he's awfully close. He's incredible. I think he's drawn perfectly. Gate 8, he'll sit behind him. If it's a sit and sprint, he'll win. If it's a truly run mile, he'll win. $2.25 is a bit short.
Very short.
But he wins this race for mine. So he's my on top selection. And basically all my betting strategy is going to be on him. $80 I'm going to chuck on Mr. Brightside. And I've got to save some money for Kozsciuszko. He's drawn the car park.
Yeah.
But he was enormous in the Epsom. He's on a Cox Plate path. He ain't here for a holiday.
Yep.
Tommy Berry on too. Love that.
Daddy.
He'll be coming home if this is a strongly run race, which I've got a feeling there's enough pace in this race that'll be run at a decent pace.
Yeah, yeah.
He'll be coming home. So I'll have $20 on him too. So that's how I'm playing the race.
Honestly. Can't believe the odds of Rodina. Is he in my betting strategy? No.
I got to have a $5 on him, surely.
Am I going to have a Quinella on the day?
Yeah.
Am I going to include him in a Ned Same Race multi? Yes. That is what I'm doing. All your points about Mr. Brightside, very well found. When I opened up my laptop this morning or at lunchtime, looking through after the acceptances, I saw $9 available for Fangirl. My jaw nearly went through the bloody floor. I couldn't believe that price. Like the likes of Zaki are more favoured in the market over her. And I think she beat Zaki home for mine.
Dry track, truly run race, gate 2, J-Mac.
Like,
tick, tick, tick.
I'm losing track of how many ticks that is. So I'm happy to play around her, not necessarily to get Mr. Brightside beat either. I'm happy to have $50 each way on her because, I think you'll get around that $2 quote for her to place, and I think she'll definitely do that if the runs come, which J-Mac will find a way for me. But yeah, Rodina obviously is in and around there, but Kozsciuszko, I think of those that Quinella out of the Epsom, Kozsciuszko is the one I want to stay with. My query about him is he looking for the 2,000 metres now?
Probably is, yeah. I'd say so, but also there was a bit of a trial for him, I think, in the Epsom, because Rodina just was ridden perfectly.
Yeah.
Like really well rated throughout the race and just held on.
Gotcha.
And Kovalik was the only one who came home like a freight train.
Agreed. Light infantry man?
Excuse me, who is light infantry man? What's going on there? Did you see that chat during the week?
The John Baker.
Yeah, B. John Baker.
Just being a bit cheeky. He's like, I'm going to take this, mate.
Yeah. So light infantry, you might recall, Drifters, was over here for the Golden Eagle. He was my pony in that race because he has elite form.
Yeah.
And didn't do much. And he was called light infantry. And now, because Bjorn Baker's gotten a 2-year-old in the meantime that they've called light infantry.
An unraced 3-year-old.
An unraced 3-year-old. Right, there you go. Who's called light infantry. They've had to change the name of this guy. So, yeah, bizarre. But absolutely bizarre. Zach Purton on. He's in with a chance too, light infantryman, just because he has such good overseas form.
Yeah, and
Happy to take him on, though.
If you like him, you like Buckaroo, because they run around each other overseas. Same silks, same ownership. But my theory is with these internationals, I'm happy to risk him over the sprinting and mile distances. I think us that are into a prep, that horse is into a prep as well, but I'd rather take them, you know what I mean? Now, let's go to race 5, the Kosciuszko. We're going to include this in our $100 strategies this week, Drifters. Not Group 1, but my God, what this is doing for country racing in New South Wales is fan-fucking-tastic. Now, Luke Pepper has a very smart mare, and J-Mac is on board. Barrier 2, Opal Ridge.
Yeah, she gets the job done until 60 with the good people in Ned's. My girl, Opal Ridge. I think what we learnt with her last prep is that keep her prep shorter.
Yes.
She was freshened up a few too many times. I reckon take her to the races 3 or 4 times because she tries her guts out. Also think 1,200 metres is probably her jam. Against these, like she's a Group 1 horse, I think. Philly's mare's grade at least. Want to get into a nice handicap sprint race. Shit. Yeah, she puts these away. $100 on.
Okay. Obviously, she's the Quinella horse for me, but the one I'm convinced is better than highway grade, and he's proven that because he just goes there and he beats up on them with a very hot jockey on board, is Derry Grove, number 12. I think this horse, he won a highway by 4.5 lengths 2 starts ago. And then he won by a length and a half over the 1,000 metres in highway grade as well. I think he's just better than that grade. Obviously, the likes of Opal Ridge, she's the class, but I'm going with the inform and the horse and the jockey. The big query for this horse is, does it run out 1,200 metres? Which I'm not convinced by, but I'm happy to find out at $7.50. So
yeah, plus gets a bit of weight relief as well.
yeah, and I'm happy to have $50 each way on this horse to find out, you know. Now, let's head to Caulfield. For the Caulfield Guineas and the Might and Power and the 2 rack. My goodness, there's some racing this weekend. But before we do that, I've got to remind you of this guy.
Middle of those, running on now is Captive On, and here's Anamoe below the 200. Lightsaber, Captive On. Anamoe moves up boldly, though Artorias is out late, but it's too late. Anamoe and Captive On, stride for stride. Anamoe the stronger. Anamoe won the Guineas from Captive.
Artorias running into third there. And I think this is one of the best wins we've ever seen.
Is going to try and turn this into a test around the turn. At the 400 metres goes for home, but the Autumn Sun is right there. Then Vacillator, the August to the outside, good and fast, followed by Mr Exclusive and a Hood. But the Autumn Sun goes to the lead at the 200 metres, puts up a length and a half, 2 legs Vacillator, and extends. The Autumn Sun 3 or 4 legs in front. A serious racehorse. The Autumn Sun blazes in spring, bolts in 6 lengths.
Jeez, he was good.
He wasn't he? He didn't beat much. Ooh-hooed.
He was good. Yeah, so we kicking off with the Guineas.
Of course we are.
One of my favourite races, the Caulfield Guineas.
Yes. I think I always overthink it, to be honest, and this year's no different. Now, what I wanted to ask you, how soon are people going to start comparing Militarize to Anamoe?
If he wins this race, then yeah, after this race.
And then he'll run
in a Cox Plate.
Imagine if he wins a Cox Plate. He's probably already won more.
He's won more Group 1s than Anamoe, yeah. So similar sort of profiles, I'd say. Anamoe is probably, as a 2-year-old, just brilliant. Like, had that turn of foot, which he didn't really lose, but probably lost as he got a bit older. He was more sort of grind out a win, whereas Militarize just is like he's more of a find the line type horse.
Chaser, yeah.
Yeah, which both awesome, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this today. So this generation of horses, when they were 2 and now 3, and I'm talking about exclusive races just for their age group. So if we're just talking about the bloke ones, you've got Group 1s, the ones that blokes can run in as well. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Blue Diamond.
Yep.
Slipper.
Yes.
Size Produce, Champagne,
Yep.
JJ,
Yep.
now Golden Rose. So that's 6 Group 1s.
Yep.
He's won half of them.
Yeah, true. And he was no chance in a slipper the way that was run for him.
No chance.
And he was first emergency in that race. Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
And he didn't run in the diamond. So
Yeah. So he's pretty good, mate.
pretty good.
He's pretty good.
He's very good.
He's pretty good. But yeah, you make a really good point. And he's by a done deal. So Castelvecchio is also by a done deal.
My guy.
Your guy. I'd say Militarize is probably better than Castelvecchio.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
No.
no disrespect at all.
Hey. Castelvecchio was what he was, all right? And
Very, very good looking horse.
yeah. But he wasn't the punter's friend, Castelvecchio.
no, he was not. But yeah, so there's clearly 2 big chances in this race, mate. Are you steering clear or are they?
No, they're the ones I'm playing around, and I'm playing this race like I've never played it before. You're going to be shocked, I guarantee you. There's a chance I'll make an absolute fortune, or I definitely lose money on the race. But mate, Stepardi of the barrier draw, I think he
wins.
He's advantage him. Johnny Allen will find him wherever he's comfortable. And I don't see a lot of speed.
I don't see a lot of speed in this race at all.
I reckon he's going to be
1-1.
Yeah, 1-1 back off the lead. Like, he's going to be really hard to get past.
Yeah, and think back to the prelude race where he came from the back and stormed home. A lot of things did it that day.
No.
And he found that, talking about line finders, he's unbeaten, mate.
A lot of that was, yes, could have been a little bit of bias, but the tempo of those races on the day were farcical. But when you have the likes of Rock Empire, I'm thinking of Robbie Williams.
I don't want to rock DJ.
And the likes of Verdad, who we saw, we didn't see him at the Valley, but he raced at the Valley. Yes, we did. What are we talking about? We were there.
We were there.
But what I liked about this horse was he looked really nice in the yard that night, but on the replay, he has one of the best actions I've seen. Just really stretches out there and he really wants to get after it. So I think they'll obviously ride him forward as well. But outside of that, you have V8 who will probably take a sit behind, but I don't really see much else speed in the race on paper.
No, I don't either. And that plays right into Stepardi's hands.
I agree.
And I don't know. I think about Stepardi and think, hey, if you put him in the Size Produce, if you put him in the Champagne Stakes, if you put him in the Golden Rose, like, has Militarize won as many as them? Would he win any of them? I think he'd be in a shout to probably nab one of them at least. Question mark for Stepardi is he hasn't been over the mile yet, whereas Militarize, you know he's going to get it, and you know he's going to get to 2,000 metres in a Cox Plate. But Paul Prusk has always said, no, this horse is a miler.
Yeah, I have no issues about that.
No issues at all. But we're the unbeaten horse.
Yep.
And I'm just going to be completely honest, and I can't split them.
Okay.
I can't split Militarize and Stepardi because they're both mine, right? I didn't think Militarize would win the Golden Rose. Egg on my face there. He just found a way to win, and he was always going to be better in this race. So that's a scary prospect. And the Magic Man on board from gate 12, man, he might ride him just with a bit more, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, let's get him into the race, like how Ollie was on Anamoe. Got him into the race.
Yep.
And then Stepardi, like, wouldn't that just be an unbelievable story?
Love it. Love it.
So I'm at this stage, Drifters, I'm going 50 on each. Just like I'm profiting in the race if either of them win, which I think is going to happen, not by much, but I just can't split them.
Yep.
Be happy either way.
See, that's how you should play the race, I reckon. This is how I'm playing the race. I'm having a $100 quinella between 5 horses.
What?
Yeah. All right. So let me get my notes up here. I have Militarize, Stepardi. I have V8. I can forgive him for one poor run.
Definitely forgive V8. I can't believe the price that's been put up for him.
I've also put in Centerfire. I think he's drawn perfectly. And the one who's a knockout at any old odds is number 10, Wolfie, for Nick Ryan. Now, this horse looks like a mile horse out and out, and very interesting jockey booking on this horse, Blake Shin. So I'm hoping that Stapati wins, because I think that's the best story in the race. Like, how many Group 1s do you need, Chris? But Wolfie runs into second, because that would be a biblical quinella there. I have a futures bet from this race as well. Number 14.
Copacabana.
Copacabana. Fuck.
Hey, that's basic.
Yeah. 100-1 in this race. But have a look back. So this is the horse that ran second to Verdad in Verdad's first start. This horse has a very nice action, and I think he's looking for the Derby. Now, he's $51 in some of those markets. So I'm looking towards him towards a Derby, and I want to see him run into about 6th or so. All right, let's get to the Might and Power race 7.
Actually, sorry. One more point I wanted to make that I completely forgot to talk about in the Guineas. Sorry, drifters. There's some really slow horses in this race.
Yeah.
And if Militarize isn't up the front, like Sapati,
yeah,
he could run into some really slow ones on the way up.
There's going to be backsides everywhere.
So just something to be aware of.
That's where I think the draw is actually not too bad for him. Like, he's going to be in that 3-wide line, and Joe will just take him to the grandstand if he needs to. All right, the Might and Power. So you have Alligator Blood, Vow and Declare. Basically, you have 2 very fast horses and some really, really slow ones. I'd imagine you're not overthinking it here in this race.
What do you mean?
Are you backing Alligator Blood over the 2000?
Happy to take him on.
There we go.
Happy to take him on.
Love it.
Look, I wouldn't say the Blood's one of mine, but he's certainly not one of mine either.
You can respect him.
I respect the Blood. Fantastic horse.
5-time Group 1 winner.
Yeah, unbelievable. What's his record like at 2,000 metres?
2 times?
2 times.
2 duck eggs.
2 duck eggs. Can he win this race? Absolutely. I think they'll be eyeballing each other up the front. Just fine, Alligator Blood, Lindemann, I'd say. I'm just hoping that there's some genuine pace on this race. I was absolutely devastated when my girl Jewess drew barrier 10. I was like, you're kidding. This is the one for her. This is the one she can win. But then I saw the jockey booking, Blake Shin. And I thought, geez, if any mongrel's going to get this girl into the race, it's this guy. I thought she was terrific in the Underwood over 1,800 metres. 2,000 metres, tick, wait for age, tick, dry deck, hopefully, tick. Blake Shin, tick, barrier, 4th up, tick. I think
small field.
I think Blake's going to get into the race. The price with Ned's, though, 5s. Like, I was hoping for maybe 7s. But I'll have to take that. $100 on the schnoz.
All right. I'm a believer with this horse just fine. I think you could have guessed that I had this horse on top. The stablemate to Alligator Blood. But when you nearly break the Randwick track record over 2,000 metres, I'm a believer. And I think the drop back to 2,000 metres is very astute by this stable. I think they know what they're doing.
If any stable can do it well, consistently, it's this stable.
Yeah.
Like Alligator Blood on the quick backup and the Underwood, tick. Alligator Blood dropping back from the Cox Plate to the Champions Mile, tick.
Yep.
I agree. I think he'll be incredibly hard to beat. Just fine. I just want to take him on.
Yeah, I can understand that. And I don't know what the market will do with him. I reckon they might spit him out, to be honest. Even though he keeps running time. He broke the track record in the Metrop.
Yep.
And then he went very close, second up over 2,000. And then his first up run over the mile was sensational.
Could he be doing much more?
No.
He can't.
No.
He's only 4th up here as well. So there's still petrol in the tank, I believe.
Yeah. And query for him is the Melbourne leg. He hasn't been the Melbourne leg. So, but sometimes these Sydney horses just absolutely thrive when they come to Melbourne as well. So happy to take him on face value. The Toorak is race 10 on your programs. Now, there's a very short price favourite in Amelia's Jewel at $2.20. She's drawn Barry 12 out of, 17? Any concerns?
I'm seeing a stack of people just say, yeah, this is a cash in, cash out job. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge Millie guy. Obviously, drifters, we both are. And I think she's a terrific horse. But mares in a handicap race, when they're almost the top weight, like, she has to be as good as we think she is to win this, I think.
I think she is.
And I think she is, which is why she's my toppy. But, like, I don't think this is... If this was weight for age, I'd be all over her like a rash.
Of course.
But it's not. So I'm a little bit concerned. But from what we've seen so far this prep, like, she just knows how to win. And she's another one of those horses that we were talking about that they just find a way and they'll go to the level they need to win. So I'm with Millie. There's no way she couldn't be my top selection because I just feel like the worst person in Australia if she won and she wasn't. Antino?
Drawing the visitors.
The visitors car park, the poor fella.
I don't think it's that bad for him.
Yeah, look, he can be versatile, Antino. So, you know, you take him back a bit, you know, midfield, whatever. But this looks like a bit of a cluttered race for mine. I'm not sure where does Blake go? Does he take some initiative and try and just find a spot with cover?
Midfield, 3 wide line, and hopefully he's strong enough at the end of a mile with that tough run.
Towards the end of the day as well, like maybe they'll be coming towards the middle of the track anyway,
Exactly.
so that might suit him. But my thing with Antino is just like he's seen a radar up there and he's just flying underneath it. Because if Amelia's Jewel wasn't in this race, he'd be $3 favourite maybe?
Yeah.
And all the other jocks would be looking at him being like, no. But they don't care about him. All the other jocks are looking at AJ, Millie, and being like, we're just going to try and get her out. D-Lane, Frosty, get away from here. I reckon he'll run an enormous race, Antino, but I don't have room in my betting strategy for him because there's another horse that I think's a ridiculous price in the market.
I'm looking here.
Absolutely absurd price. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Is it the top 8?
That's not the top of mine. He's never been one of mine.
Who is it?
Pinstripe.
Oh, yeah, no.
Can you believe the price of this horse? He has come back in outstanding order.
Yeah.
Mate, he runs a second to Mr Brightside in the PB Lawrence, wins the Fian, and been rating through the roof, and he's equal weights with
AJ.
With AJ.
Yeah.
And he's $17. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that with the good people at Nets. I'm having $20 on him for sure, and I'm going to have $80 on AJ. Like, I cannot, like, he would not shock me at all if he won this race.
Yeah.
He's going to a Cox Plate. Like, yeah, he's going to be a 30-1 shot there. But if he wins this, he might not be.
He's a miler.
I think he is too. But,
Yeah.
and I tell you what, I think he run a big race.
Yep. Shout out to loyal listener Marcus, who's got Amenable down the bottom, 52 kegs, $17. You can forgive him for one poor run.
You can.
So all the best there, mates. Barry 6 is perfect for that horse. Amelia's Jewel wins this race. And I think, unfortunately, she goes to the Cox Plate from what I'm hearing. But, you know,
She goes to Golden Eagle.
Sorry, yeah. Simon Miller today. You know what convinced me not convinced me, I was already convinced, but maybe even more confident in this horse, is when she ran past Shaw. It was Pride Jenny. It was Pride to Jenny, but
Sure it was.
Pride to Jenny might have just got beaten by an Everest winner, second up last prep as well.
I can't believe he said that. I can't believe he said that. He's just like, yeah, we might take it to the Everest next year. It's just like,
yeah, I know. But he, the way she passed Pride of Jenny, not Princess Jenny, sorry. Her ears were flattened back, and then as soon as she passed her, she put her ears up, and she knows exactly what she's doing. This horse is incredibly intelligent, and I think she is just going to eat these up and spit them out. And
I hope so.
Oh, mate.
Like I hope she does.
Yep.
I'm nervous in a handicap though.
I understand.
Yeah, and like I'm not saying that I'm not confident. I'm not saying that. I just would have preferred her to be in a weight for age race.
Yep. $100 on. Now, we have taken up enough of your time, but we're still going to do previews of the other races. So let's stay at Caulfield. Race 3 is the Herbert Power. And you have Carini, your short price favourite, at $2.90, stepping up from $1,700 to $2,400. Very similar profile to the race he accepted in last week.
Yes, and taken out of that, say for this, Mickey D on, I think he deserves favouritism for sure, Carini. There's nothing really I'm too concerned about in this race. Like, Calipor's been going A-OK. Braden Starr's been going well, but, geez, I like what I've seen from Carini so far. Gets out to a distance in which he has some form overseas, so...
Yep. Yeah. I can understand that. Sorry, I just found one down the bottom, and I just had to have a real quick look because I've had an oversight on this horse. United Nations is the play here. Third behind, mostly cloudy at Flemington. That horse ran sensational in last week. I think with 53 kilos, barrier 6, can go just off this pace near the speed. My initial way that I read the race was I wanted to take on Carini just because of that massive step up, but Danny O'Brien's the right trainer to get them fit. I initially went with Daquin Sweet Jr. Now, that is a 2-miler.
You're expecting Blake Shin to win everything.
No, I have Frosty on top.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, Daquin Sweet Jr. was my initial play, so I might have a little Quinella with United Nations with Dean Yendall, 53 kilos. Race 4 is the Northwood Plume, 1,200 metre Group 3 for the mares, set weights and penalties. Red car gives me the ick these days.
Oh, I don't know what to do with her.
Icky. $2.60.
Yeah. I was hoping for $4.
Yeah. Well, she was, what, $1.30 last time.
Starting price profile. Yeah. She, this can't be a betting race for me because I'm trying to get her beat, and I'm looking at maybe She Dances to get her beat. Cardigan Queen has beaten her. I'm looking at those to get her beat, but I still think she's the best horse in the race. So probably a no betting race for me. Will I bet on her on the day? Yes.
Rose Quartz. If you like She Dances, Rose Quartz is your pony here. Mick D, Graham Begg can train a sprinting mare. This horse was sensational behind Vivienne first up. Now, that was against the boys as well that day. Drops seemingly back in grade against her own sex. I think she is over the odds at $7. I'm happy to play around her. And Sarah Dess, she hasn't won in bloody 70 or 80 weeks. Now, the Scalacci. This is a fascinating contest. Uncommon James v Asfura. There's a nice little boxing battle that these two have. I think it's 2-2
Yeah, I think they're about the same level, these two as it stands. I think Uncommon James, though, is going to be a horse who's, for mine, suited out over further, 1,200 metres. Whereas Asfura, this is right in her wheelhouse. The Moya Stakes was almost like a mini grand final for her, so I'm a little bit nervous that she's peaked there and she's going to come off that. Whereas Uncommon James is doing this, and I think he's probably got, a champion sprint in mind?
surely.
Yeah.
Fascinating gear change for him. Blinker's first time.
Yes, fascinating as well. And we know that they can either do wonders or they can just do nothing.
I used to see that as a bit of a positive, but for a horse that wasn't that far off Imperatriz, has a sensational winning strike rate, I was a bit confused about it.
Is it Blinker's first time?
Yes.
I like to see Blinker's first time on a horse that has had a fair few starts, and he's had 11, so this is his 12th start, first time with the Blinkers. Like, when you see that on a horse who's, for example, if, I don't know, a 3-year-old colt gets him for the first time in his third race start, I'm like, really? Like, do you really think it's going to, really switch him on that much. But anyway, as for me, I do respect Uncommon James.
Yeah, I think I'm going hard overhead with this. Uncommon James, I think he'll be slightly better price on the day. So I think they're your Quinella in the race. Really easy to play. So race 6 is the Weekend Hustler. Now, I was saying to you in the green room prior to this, can you believe that Ayrton is the favourite in this contest?
It doesn't make any sense.
Surely not.
It doesn't make any sense.
He hasn't won for 77 weeks.
Doesn't make any sense. This can't be a betting race for me if he's the favourite.
I looked at it, and I'm going to have to do the race a bit more forensically, but I came to Wellwall, and he's been gelded, sure, and he's on his Melbourne leg for the first time, I believe. So I could potentially entertain him, but he's $5. Like,
mate, I backed him in the Doncaster Prelude. He ran second. I backed Tamer Lane, which beat him in the next start. He ran second. And then I backed him in the Coast. He ran second to Palmetto. That day, then Karen McAvoy decided to actually put on his boots for once. Fucking hell. Like, if I back him here, I know he runs second.
Yeah.
So that's the risk, right?
Buffalo River was good last start. And he's $9.50. Not the worst, but yeah, not a betting race for me. Race 8, if it loads. Do it for me one time.
The Ladies' Day Vars. Group 3, 1,600 metres. Fillies and mares.
Mares, not fillies.
Just mares.
Set weights and penalties. Now, Nunthorpe has been a winning machine this prep, but she has had those races given to her on an absolute platter.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's that much speed in this race again. So could she just keep on doing it?
She could. She has a little bit of a fly in the ointment with number 10, Wish Law Lass. Simon Wild gets a better gait than her, has a pretty good strike rate. But why jump off Nunthorpe? You know what I mean? Like, I've backed her last, 2 starts, 3 starts? No reason to jump off. Where's Jamie Carr this weekend?
She's in Sydney.
She's in Sydney, right. There you go. D. Oliver on?
Farewell Tour.
Farewell Tour. Yeah, she's my pony in this race. What about Foxy Frida?
Yeah, happy to give her another try, but she was a bit disappointing. Maybe she was just a bit flat from a torrid campaign. I think she went bloody everywhere. She went to Victoria. She went to Adelaide. And she also came up to the Sunshine State. But yeah, that's another non-betting race for me. I couldn't be less interested. But let's go to Sydney. Race 3 on your programs is the Reginald Allen Quality. 1,400 metres listed race. Now, if you thought these last few that we talked about was tough, this is freaking impossible. Impossible?
Impossible. Oh, mate, yeah, it is. I'm looking at the toppies and I'm trying to find something. Nothing's really screaming out, is it?
You know who's my on-top selection for this race is friend of the podcast, Cooper Cordless. Actually has a runner in this race, and that's number 8, Zelta. So at $15, Rachel King on board, Waterhouse bot, you know where it'll be. Wide draw, needs some luck, but give that horse some strength.
You know what? I'll jump on with you. Go Zelta.
Yep. 100K in the kitty if it wins. The Gloaming. Now, this is an interesting contest. Now, you have the Riff Red Rocket form with Snowman, who isn't even your favourite, I don't believe, because you have Tom Kitten again. Now, I looked at Tom Kitten at $2.50. I wanted to take him on in this race with the likes of Snowman. And I think the horse that beat him last start, Gambar, I think it's pretty smart as well. Barrier 18 does not help at all. No. 1,800 start at Randwick. They're basically turning straight away as well. So it will be extremely difficult for Hippo to get across there. But there actually isn't that much speed in the race either. I think Raff Attack will go hard out in front. But if he can just get this horse like settling up on that speed, I reckon he'll get run the race sort of stuff with equal luck early. So I'm actually happy to play those two, Gambara and Snowman.
Yeah, Snowman is my selection here. Drifters. Riff Rocket form is the right sort of form. So he's the one for me in the Sneesby Racing Silks. Good luck. And then obviously Tannhauser. I would have been keen on him last start, but he didn't run. So he's $11 with good people in Ned. So, you know, both those ponies are at a price where I can be a 2-bet Terry for once.
Yeah, of course you can. Sydney Stakes, race 6, 1,200 metres, group 3. Now, wait for age. I don't know if something's happened to Remark, but if you listen to Wayne Hawkes, all he's been saying is like, Remark either way if he runs in the Everest or the Sydney Stakes on Everest Day. Now, I look through this field and Remark is not here. So
Nowhere to be seen.
I hope that horse is okay, because the way that the connections were talking about him was he was definitely going to be here. And I think he would have been definitely in with a winning chance, that horse. Now, I ask you, what's the best, typically, form reference race of the entire year each year?
Well, the Stradbroke.
Who won the Stradbroke?
Think about it.
So, who has form around? Think about it in this race. You have King of Sparta, Valana, and of course Bella Nipotina.
Yeah.
They have to be the top 3, right?
Yeah, Bella Nipotina is proven as being, a Group 1 worthy sprinter in this country.
Williams back on.
C. Williams back on. She was terrific. Terrific running behind Think About It, and ran third over 1,000 metres in the Concord Stakes. Sticky gate.
Very sticky.
Sticky gate. Rock hard deck.
Yeah, that's a concern for me with her.
Bit of a concern. But I think she's a play in this race. Like, do you stick with Airman?
Well, that's the thing.
Do you stick with King of Sparta?
Well,
I'm happy to take on Valana. I think he
Yeah.
needs a bit of a
cutout.
soft dick.
Yeah, same. So they were the 4 that I was looking at. The King of Sparta. I'm in his fan club, 100%. But I think he's better suited to the 1,400 meters as well, personally. Even though he's won the majority at 1,200, but I think he's definitely a winning chance. Barrow's 17. Where the hell? If you think you know where this horse is going to be, you're guessing. I have no idea. Like, no clue. Airman probably gets one of the runs of the race from Barry 9. This is a huge test.
Huge test.
Because he had, I think, 53 kilos last start. Jumps up to weight for age.
Like the $7.50 is ludicrous.
It's short. It's very short. I think in all-in markets, he was 50 to 1. So if you've got some of that, full credit to you, because that's overs. I want to see double figures. And then if I see double figures, I'll chime in. Now, what race are we? Race 8, I believe.
Yep, the Silver Eagle.
Interesting. Now, 1,300 metres. The once Epsom favourite is in the field, the top weight, with Pericles. I thought he had a bleed, so I thought he... Yeah, right.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a bleeding from both nostrils. I think they just found some in his trachea.
Gotcha.
So, we know he's my guy, but weird prep. Weird prep.
Is it? I don't know. I think he's...
Well, with weird prep, because he's had the scratching 2 weeks, 2 races in a row from the Epsom, and he was scratched in the race before that, the weight for age race. Can't remember what it's called, the 7 Stakes. Because he was racing in that too. So, he's obviously now being shifted towards a Golden Eagle. 1,300 metres, I think he'd probably want a mile at the moment.
Yeah.
So he's definitely one of mine. I'm happy to let him go round, I think, at this stage. We'll see how I go, Drifters. But my girl Benedetta.
Yeah.
1,300 metres, I think, tick. Pretty sharp trial in between. Bit of a freshen up. I think she'll run super here.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
Star Patrol.
Pretty well weighted. Yeah.
Rank the form.
Yeah. I think she'll run well here. And then there's a Queensland horse coming down. Number 5, Yellow Brick.
He needs to win another race.
He needs to win another race, doesn't he? Yet to miss the placings, but like the Wheatwood, he was the top weight and he led what he doesn't usually lead, but like he had to win that race. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
He had to win that race. He's got form around Radina. He's got form around Hawaii 5-0. Like he's good, and I'd be happy to see him win this race.
Absolutely.
Want to see it.
Yeah, need to see it. There is a horse at an enormous price, which I'm convinced that they want to sneak into the Golden Eagle field, and that's number 10, Straight Acer, who has midway form. So you might be looking at me going, what are you talking about? This horse has a motor under it. Big motor. So it's last one, three on the trot. T. Berry in the saddle for Edward Cummings. I think he'll get a cozy run for Barry 2. Will just be behind the pace, about midfield. And I think because if you run top 3 here, you're automatically in the Golden Eagle. I think this horse, looking at its rating and its prize money, wouldn't get a start in the Golden Eagle otherwise. So I think this is almost this horse's grand final, and I'm happy to find out at $31.
Yeah, of course you are.
Like, especially like given Pericles was set for the mile down to 1,300. I probably want to be on that horse at Golden Eagle Day.
Yeah,
and I was looking at the futures market. He's $15 there now. So if he runs this, like, what price will he be there?
Yeah.
Yellow Brick, happy to risk, need to see it. And then the rest of them, Benedetta, obviously. But Straight Acer, I'll have to throw at the stumps.
Sneaky throw at the stumps.
Yeah.
I wonder what the source will pick in that race.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's finish it off with the Angst Stakes. This race gives me angst. Group 3 for the mares, set weights and penalties. 2 of mine go around here. The top weight, Amakura, is back at the races. Just a good girl she is. But I thought there was a really, really nice run first up that everyone saw, and that's number 13, Osbred Flirt. She was sensational. $7 you're getting for her. I think that's the wrong price.
I can't back that horse because of the name. I can't, mate. Like, come on, honestly. Like, come on. So for me, I'm trying to find bloody something elsewhere, and there's nothing that's really sort of, screaming out at me. Amakura resumes. I don't think this is her race top weight. Gee whiz, lugs it over 1,600 meters. What would be her grand final?
Oh, no idea.
Yeah, like
zero clue.
I'm guessing like a 2,000 meter.
Country
Group
Cup
2, Group 3, Country Cup, something like that.
Yeah.
So keep your powder dry for that. Oh, could I get sucked back into Frumos? No, I can't do it.
Renaissance Woman?
Renaissance Woman, nah, she's not one of mine. One that I backed heaps last prep was Osmos. Like, and the stable.
They know what they're
doing. So there's no speed in this race, and she'll be up leading, and I reckon she could just walk and maybe just win. But I've zero confidence.
Me and Brad Widdup might be secret mates because he's the trainer of Ice Bath, who is in my good books, not in your good books. That horse,
no.
And C. Williams rides, same jockey that got Ice Bath over the line that day. Crikey, that was a lot.
Yeah, well, it's, arguably the best day of the year.
It could be. An hour and 8 minutes of the best. So
you're lucky, drifters. You're actually so lucky.
Yeah, not many have the same prowess of us. But I reckon. So I Wish I Win wins the Everest. Sapati wins the Guineas. It'll be interesting to see who you actually put on top.
Yeah, yet to decide, drifters. I just couldn't split them, and I was running out of time today. We'll see.
Just fine in the Might and Power. AJ in the Turak. Fangirl in the King Charles.
Yeah, we're pretty similar. Brightside in the King Charles for me. Jewis in the Might and Power. But yeah, look, it could be one of those days where you just don't pick any.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Easily, and you just got to cop it on the chin. So, bit of value to be found, drifters. If you can land a couple in Sydney and Melbourne, then you're going good. But mate, you know, we're gonna give racing a bit of a spiel because we're big advocates. If you live in Sydney or Melbourne, get to the track.
Yeah.
If you don't live in Sydney or Melbourne, go somewhere with your mates and watch the races.
Yes.
Get around it.
Absolutely.
You'll have a fantastic time.
Yeah, I agree. And the pubs right across Australia will be heaving, but make sure you get your postal votes in. Oh, not your postal votes. It's too late for that. But make sure you get your votes in early because the lines will be biblical throughout the day.
Early votes.
I did a postal vote.
I've already done the early vote. Did it yesterday. So
See, there you go.
thinking men.
All right. Best of luck. See you Sunday.
See you, drifters.